So Quentin Tarantino has just said that Kamala Harris doesn't need to do any interview whatsoever. And I couldn't believe that because you know that I've said many times that I'm a fan of Quentin Tarantino's movies, and I think he's a great writer of dialogue. So it's a bit ironic that someone who knows so much about writing dialogue, in this case, he says literally that he's going to vote for Kamala Harris no matter what, no matter whatever comes from her mouth in any stupid interview. And he uses much stronger words than that. I'm going to play part of this interview with Bill Maher and to try to drive a point that, again, I value freedom over everything else. You can vote for whoever you want, but the fact that you have this guy, Tarantino, saying that, no, there's no need for any interview, is like you're afraid of the exchange of ideas, of the debate of ideas, of the argumentation of policies. But yes, it's quite baffling. Let's take a look at this and hear the first clip.
Let me ask you about this, though. Okay, look. There's nothing you said that isn't right. All right. And there's definitely nothing you said that isn't right in a normal election cycle. I mean, it's irrefutably right in a normal election cycle where you have a year to set your case.
So what he says in this first clip is that, well, whatever Bill Maher said, that it should be important for a candidate to give interviews, that Kamala Harris would not get anywhere near him, near Maher, that she is nowhere near the media. She's not giving interviews. What kind of campaign is this? And Tarantino claims that what he says should be the norm in a normal election cycle and 1 year election cycle. But now he's going to make the argument that since this is going so fast, Kamala Harris has no time to give any interviews because you know that she's going so fast. I know it's a bit absurd, but here it goes.
I think they're just all about winning the fucking election, all right? And then the easiest path to winning the election, look, you can talk about maybe she should have had more guts about this or that and the other, but we're the president.
Right.
And Trump's not the president, and we're the president, and now it's going to be about this. But this is about winning.
A couple of things that I did not understand. That's why does he say that we are the effing president? I mean, well, Kamala Harris is not right now the president. He could be the president, but it's not going to be we. It's going to be, maybe he says that that he identifies with the Democrat Party, and since Kamala Harris is from the Democrat Party, that's what he is talking about. But again, he doesn't give a real explanation as to why she just shouldn't give interviews whatsoever. It's about just effing winning. It's just about effing winning. This is something that he's going to repeat over and over again. And yes, you might not have seen some other Tarantino interviews. I've seen them, but in regards to movies, and this is his usual way of speaking. Maybe not that much swearing. It's not that usual, but his gestures, his body language are on point. So he really means what he's saying, even if what he's saying doesn't have much substance at all. But let's keep watching.
What most people don't give the Democrats enough credit for, all right, but we give the Republicans credit for. It's like, no, sometimes it's just about winning. And it doesn't matter how we look at this moment. It's about winning.
Right.
This is about winning.
Yep.
You notice that, yes, it's about effing winning. It's about effing winning. And then I begin to wonder, what do you mean about winning if it's not by, getting the votes? And how do you get the votes if you don't convince people with what is the most important part of running a country, which is policies? If you don't discuss the policies, that you don't even have in your website, because Kamala Harris doesn't have them in her website, then how are you going to get those votes? Just with twerking concerts and all that filler and smoke and mirrors or whatever? Is that the way? Is that the way that you want someone to hold office? The most important role in the United States, the president of the United States? It's really baffling to me that they want to sell this idea, or Tarantino wants to sell this idea. You need that. You see that Mayor's body language is he's got his doubts about this. He brought the topic. I mean, Kamala Harris should speak to the press, should speak to him, should sit down for at least 1 or 2 interviews, but 0. And he's got his a bit of pacifying gesture. He looks comfortable. This is usual Bill Maher body language as well. But he's trying to make sense of what Tarantino is saying, because we still have no substance. Like, this is only about winning the effing election. No, that is not a real answer. But we move on.
No, it is.
It's a mad dash, and she is running, and she's not stopping to stumble.
So that's his main argument, if we can call that an argument. This is an effing dash. Like, it's so fast that it's happening, because, we thought that Joe Biden was going to be the candidate, but for reasons that we still don't understand, if he was the greatest president in the history of the United States. He was not the candidate, but he dropped out, not by his own accord, because he was forced, and he said that. And now they have Kamala Harris in a hurry, so that justifies that she's not giving any interviews. That is the most nonsense that I've heard in just a few words. And I had to just focus on Tarantino's words, because it's so baffling. It's so baffling that people like him are not interested at all in any discussion of ideas or policies. And I couldn't think of a situation more dangerous than that. Because, okay, he has FU money. He can do whatever he wants. He will not be affected by illegal immigration. He will not be affected by healthcare policies, if there are any of them. He will not be affected by inflation or at all. But again, I think it's the fair thing to just ask why Kamala Harris cannot give an interview or a series of interviews. And, well, he doubles down on this.
And you know what?
And there's nothing wrong with stopping this. I'm going to vote for her anyway, no matter what she says in a stupid interview.
Exactly.
So don't it up.
So again, there you have. He's going to vote for her anyway. That is nice. I think that is freedom. You are free to vote for whoever you want. I have repeated that over and over again, and I really mean it. But I also think that it's important for people to know what are they voting for. People should be informed. No, many people are not really informed of who are Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, especially Tim Walz, and why he was picked. And that's the reason why I have made so many videos about their policies, and maybe not focusing much on their body language, because it's not necessary. It's not really necessary to look at their body language. We need to look at the inconsistencies and the contradictions between what they say and how they have acted. For example, that Tarantino doesn't want Kamala Harris to sit down for an interview, because the first moment that she sits down for an interview, she is going to be asked, Donald Trump said about that he was going to remove taxes on tips. And then you said that it was your idea, that you're going to remove taxes and tips, but then we have proof that you were the one who signed a bill, a law, like doing the complete opposite, being VP. So how do you reconcile both things? What you claim to do, or that you're going to do right now, with your actions, your own actions. We're not talking about maybe obscure tenets of human behavior. No, we are talking about actual words out of Kamala Harris' mouth and actual actions that she has done in the past that have this huge conflict, and there are no way of reconciling that. And that's why I tell you over and over again, we need to ask these questions, because people like this guy, like Quentin Tarantino, want to make it seem like it's about not having Trump in office. And that is saying you don't need to think. Just vote blue, whatever it takes, whoever it is. That is dangerous. And that is irresponsible, because you're saying, no, you're effectively saying that people in the Democrat Party, I don't believe this, by the way, that people in the Democrat Party are so stupid that they will not be able to understand or care about the policies. No, I really doubt that. I'm absolutely sure that there are many people in the center left and in the medium left, because, well, that left is really hard right now, in the center left and medium left, that they want to listen to some common sense. They want to listen to some questions. They want to listen to actual policies, or at least read them on a website, but they are not, and we are 71 days until the elections. So this is not the way. I mean, thinking is how societies grow and thrive. This approach is deplorable and despicable. And I don't care if, yes, I could have said that I'm a fan of Tarantino movies, and I can defend Tarantino's right to vote for Kamala Harris, but I would not defend that he's going to justify that no, there's nothing to be discussed. This is just a rush. No, that is nonsense. That is where I draw the line, because that is what we need in every single country in the world. We need to talk more about these topics. And if they are shying away from these topics, if they don't want Kamala Harris to open her mouth on an interview or on a debate, then you know what is their greatest fear. And that's why he reacts that way at the end, as in, no, I am going to vote for her anyway, no matter what she says in a stupid effing interview. And he says that, and you can see that there's this kind of hatred in his face. Well, you know that he's very intense. I have to say that I have analyzed Tarantino for a while, and yes, he can be quite intense, and he means it. He means that he means the words that he's saying, but his words are wrong. Not his decision. His decision is his, and he's free to exercise it. But his approach to saying, no, this is in a rush. This is too fast. We have to this is all about winning, is the most brain dead take that I have heard in a long time. But I would love to know what you think about this in the comments. My body language buddies, remember that I've got 100 free body language tips in the description of this video waiting for you. Download them absolutely free, and you will receive my emails as well with tips about human behavior and how to spot this kind of nonsense. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. Much love and bliss.